Well, good afternoon and welcome to Lichtsinn Motors, where we're America's closest dealer to Winnebago, Itasca, and the Winnebago Touring Coach Division of Winnebago Industries here in Forest City, Iowa. We're literally located 1 mile north of the Winnebago factory. We're excited to have 330 people on today's webcast, where we're going to take America's first peek at the all-new Winnebago Trend and the Itasca by Winnebago Viva, a new Class C offering on the fuel-efficient Ram ProMaster chassis. We have an exciting webcast today where we're going to walk you through the all-new Winnebago Trend here at our dealership, where we're literally just a mile north of Winnebago. We want to make this as interactive as possible. We've had great success with all of you chatting in your questions live. And if you log in the lower left-hand corner of your screen as you're watching this webcast, identify with your first name, and then you can chat our questions in live. And as Casey Singlestead, our RV sales manager, walks us through the Winnebago Trend, we'll take your questions live as we go through this interactive presentation. Now, keep in mind, we can do these live interactive presentations in the comfort of your home and office at any point on any of our in-stock RVs with any of our RV sales consultants. So we can do this. We've had great success with it. Our customers have really appreciated the fact that we can show you live in high-definition video all of the quality, the features, and content of any of our in-stock RVs. So, without further ado, let's get started. The all-new Winnebago Trend from Winnebago Industries. I'm going to turn this over to Casey Singlestead. She's our RV sales manager who is going to walk us through the all-new coach.
Well, again, welcome everybody to Lichtsinn Motors. This is the all-new 2014 Winnebago Trend, which will be the Winnebago version of the Itasca Viva. This is on the 9,350-pound Dodge ProMaster chassis. It'll actually achieve about 14 to 16 miles per gallon, so you get really great fuel efficiency and a nice, small, compact gas coach. This happens to be the 23L floor plan. There will be 2 floor plans available in 2014. What's really great about this particular floor plan is that you've got some great exterior storage. As you can see, you've got 2 rather spacious compartments that are here on the passenger side of the coach. Both of them have feature the rotocast tanks that are there at the bottom that will have their own drain so that you can get additional storage down below where the flooring is of the RV. That's in both of these side compartments here. What that also means is you might be able to tell from these compartments they are actually also heated storage compartments because they do go straight to the interior of the coach. Back here in the rear compartment, you get some really nice longer storage that can go all the way through. You can also access that from the inside of the coach, which we'll take a look at once we go ahead and move inside the RV.
And guys, if I can interrupt right now, we've got a couple of great questions to start out our interactive presentations today. Larry with the first question chatting in, wanting to know when the other floor plan will be out, and then also Carol wanting to just reiterate the length again.
Sure. As I mentioned, this is the 23L. The 23B is the other floor plan that will be available. We're also expecting the 23B to arrive here within the next couple weeks is when we should start getting our first of the other floor plan as well. So this is our very first 23L. As far as length, it is actually just a touch over 24 feet. It's 24.4 inches or something to that effect.
Yeah, so great questions. Thank you, Larry and Carol. And again, just log in the lower right-hand corner of your screen and keep those questions coming. We'll actually cover those live as we go through the Winnebago Trend.
Yep. A couple other things to note here as we're on the passenger side of the RV. You do see, just by the awning, you do have the exterior speakers. Now you can link that straight up to the radio system that's on the inside of the coach, which you can actually, that does have a Bluetooth feature, so that way you can use your phone to control your music while you're actually sitting underneath your patio awning. And
it really has outstanding range. I've had these go, as much as 60 feet in some cases, so great hands-free connectivity with the audio smartphone apps that you have on your smartphone, your tablet, or any compatible device that has the Bluetooth feature.
As you can see, you've also got a really great 12-volt electric awning. This is 15 feet long, so it really spans the entire length of the coach. So you get really great coverage from your patio awning. And again, that's electric, just with the touch of the button right inside the entry door. And as you can see now, it also features the LED light strip on there as well. A really, really great feature to have once you get a little bit darker outside, you can get some really nice light there underneath your patio awning, and of course that is on its own separate switch, so if you would prefer to not have that on, you can very easily shut that off.
And Casey, a great question that just came in from Ruth, wanting to know the total cubic footage on the outside for the 23L and comparing that to the Travato.
Ooh. The exterior of the Trend, the 23L has 35 cubic feet of exterior storage. The 23B in comparison has just about 16. And then the Travato doesn't have specific exterior compartments. The difference there is that with the Travato, you have the exterior doors that'll open up, and you get some really, really great storage space that's underneath that corner bed, but not necessarily dedicated exterior storage compartments.
And Casey, if I can interrupt again, a good question that just came in from Jane, wanting to know how wide the coach is.
Sure. The exterior width of the coach is 7 foot 6 inches. On the interior, you'll have 7 foot 3 inches in width there.
And actually, just another follow-up question. Great questions today. Gary chatting in, wanting to know why the front end looks different than on the Travato.
Probably the primary difference that you're seeing is the difference of this plastic cladding here. On the Travato, this is not painted. It's actually just the standard gray-black type of color, kind of that charcoal. Whereas on the Travato, or excuse me, on the Trend, they do paint this. So that's why this has more of that silver look versus the standard plastic that would be on the Travato.
But really great questions today. Keep those questions coming in, and we'll cover them as we go through the interactive presentation.
Yep, everything else in reference to the front of the coach is going to look just like the Travato that you saw last month. You've got the headlamps that are mounted higher up on the coach, which is done intentionally in case you do have, heaven forbid, you have any form of accidents or things like that. It's intended so that that way this is what would get hit, so you don't have to replace your headlamps. You also have the folding mirror, the side mirrors that do feature the blinker in the side. Really easy to do that, so that if you're in a really tight space, you can get rid of that extra width from the side mirrors.
And again, the coach is actually front-wheel drive, just like as in the Travato. It bears the weight over that front-wheel drive powertrain with about 5,000 pounds on that front axle weight rating, so it gives you real good traction with it being front-wheel drive, which is a unique feature that really will provide better maneuverability throughout some winter roads.
The coach does come with the 16-inch Continental tires. Really great thing here is that you do have all aluminum wheels, which is the same, that would be exactly the same on the Travato as well.
And great coverage, Casey, because Anthony just chatted in wanting to know what size the tires are. And Larry with a follow-up question. Larry had chatted in earlier wanting to know when the 23B floor plan would be out. If you can reiterate again the estimated fuel efficiency of the Trend and Viva.
Sure. So first off, the 23B, we will hopefully be seeing our first of that in a couple weeks. So at that point, any of our sales consultants could do this same type of live walkthrough for you with that floor plan. And fuel economy on the Trend will be about 14 to 16 is what Winnebago has averaged on all of the models that they've been trying out on the roads. The Travato will get about 2 miles per gallon better. All right, we're going to kind of continue our way around the exterior here. Really nice porch lights that are on the exterior. You've got also some convenient electrical outlets that you have underneath your patio awning, as well as the input here for cable.
And Casey, if I can interrupt again, Arnold just chatting in a question wanting to know the cargo carrying capacity. So earlier, Casey had mentioned that it is an approximate 9,300 pound gross vehicle weight rating chassis. The way that Winnebago has engineered this coach, this 23L that you're looking at right now has just under 1,500 pounds of cargo carrying capacity. It's actually 1,445. So just a very well engineered coach with an emphasis placed on the cargo carrying capacity that our customers need while out on the road.
Really great questions today. Here as we come across the back, all of the taillights that you see here are LED, so very bright, which is great. Winnebago also installs the rear monitor system. The unique thing here is that in the Trend, that rear camera, the monitor is actually going to be mounted in the rear view mirror, which we'll take a look at when we go inside the cab.
And really great questions today. Ken just chatting in a question wanting to know if the powertrain actually has four-wheel disc brakes with ABS, and they are four-wheel disc brakes and they do have ABS. So great question, Ken. Thank you for that.
Yep. You'll also see here on the rear of the Trend that Winnebago does give you a really nice convenient place in order to store that sewer hose. And we'll see as we go around the driver's side where the connections are for that. Hitch, you are able to tow here with the Trend and the Viva. You actually have 2,000 pounds worth of towing capacity. Kind of continue to wrap our way around here to the driver's side. Down here on the rear is where you'll see everything that you'll need in order to dump your coach. Both the black as well as the gray tank pull valves are located right in one convenient location.
And you can see just underneath there, Josh, the one-piece rotocast tanks, which is a proprietary advantage from Winnebago Industries. Also the wider 3.5-inch PVC, so you actually get a cleaner, quicker dump out of the black, and then chasing it with the gray.
Located right here, which is a really great spot for it with your sewer items, is also your exterior shower. So that you can use that for lots of conveniences that come with the exterior shower. You also have two different ways in order to fill your freshwater tanks. Here located would be where you'd fill up your city water or where you'd connect to city water fill. And then you also have a gravity water fill that's located just forward of that as well.
And Casey, Anthony just chatted in the $1 million question, wanting to know if this is a stock coach or if it is retail sold for a customer.
This is a stock coach, so it is available.
Yeah, we have several that are retail sold, but this one is available. We'll be posting complete pictures, interactive presentation detail from the webcast, and then also our traditional high definition walk around. While we're here, Casey, Jane just chatted in a question wanting to know if you could walk us through the specs on the actual powertrain itself, so the liter size, the horsepower, the torque, etc.
Oh, sure. So as we mentioned, this is the Dodge ProMaster chassis. So along with that, you have 280 horse, along with 258 pounds-feet of torque. It's the 3.6 liter gas Dodge ProMaster engine that comes with that.
Really has wonderful acceleration off of the starting line based on some of the demo drives that we've driven, not only in this, but also in the Travato.
Yeah, absolutely. We were, all of our sales consultants had the opportunity to take it out for a quick spin, and we were all very impressed with how that drove. So as I mentioned, your gravity water fill is over here on the driver's side, as well as your connection to fill up your LP tank. As you probably noticed as we wrapped around, it is a 30 amp power cord that comes along with this. The hood is extremely easy to get into. I'll go ahead and pop that so you can take a look at that. The release for that is just inside the driver's door. And then there's simply a latch that's right in the middle there that'll release that.
And then Casey, as you cover some of the components on this, as I walked away from my tablet, Gary had chatted in a question wanting to know if this does have independent front suspension.
And it does. I don't know if Ron wants to go into more detail on that, but it does have independent front suspension.
Well, really the advantage to that is it handles much like your automobile. So if you have a change in elevation, such as when you pull into a parking lot, the one wheel that actually absorbs all of that jounce will absorb it and move up and down. So you don't get the tip effect of some straight rail traditional RV chassis. So the whole house of the RV won't tip. That one wheel that's actually absorbing all that jounce will actually move up and down.
All right. Another nice thing that you can see here with the front cap of the Viva and Trend is that you do get the skylight that's overhead, which would be a difference between the Viva Trend versus the Travato. So you get some really nice natural light inside the coach.
And Casey, I remember when we did our Travato interactive presentation a month ago, Mary had chatted in a question. Mary's a good ally of our store, and she had touched on the serviceability of why we're utilizing the Ram ProMaster network. If you could just touch on the number of service locations as well. That was a good point that Mary had brought up last month.
Yep, absolutely. There are over 800 service locations for anything that's chassis related that you might have. And then of course anything that's Winnebago, anything that Winnebago has put inside the coach, you can have that taken care of at any Winnebago or Itasca dealership. But there are 800 service locations for anything on the Dodge ProMaster portion of things that you might need help with.
You know, wonderful smooth fiberglass construction throughout the coach with the sheet metal up front on the Class C cutaway chassis. So it really has that endurance of the high gloss premium sidewalls.
All right, well, keep the questions coming. I think at this point we can probably go ahead and take a step inside. As you can see, the coach does have the electric step.
Nice LED patio light as you walk in.
So just inside the entry step is where you'll find quite a few different switches, kind of your typical stuff as far as your awning light, your powered awning to take that both in and out, your step switch, as well as your coach battery disconnect, and then a couple light switches as well, so that you can easily get things lit up when you come inside the coach. And then of course on the opposite side is where you'll find the fire extinguisher. But a really nice compartment located here just inside the door. As you can see, you've got a few controls that are in there as well. This is where Winnebago puts your one-place panel. So this is really where you're going to control anything that's water related. You've got your water pump, as well as the LP portion of the heater. This is the tankless water heater that is powered by LP, so it's much more efficient than what you'd be used to with the LP electric water heater. It actually uses 60% less LP. And then also your tank levels. It does have true level holding tanks, so those sensors are actually mounted to the exterior of the tanks, so that you'll be sure to get accurate readings rather than when there's probes drilled through into the tanks. And then you can also start and stop your generator from here as well. It has the 2800 watt gas Onan generator. And then you've got the switch that powers your TVs, and then as well as your heated holding tanks are all located here in a nice little pantry space, really, for your galley.
And Casey, if I can interrupt, a good question that just came in from Robert, wanting to touch on the RV battery setup within the Trend Viva, with it being the Group 31 Deep Cycle AGM battery. So
very good. Also right here is where you'll see the Jensen stereo system. Now, as we were talking about the exterior speakers, this is what you'll be able to use with that. Really, really great stereo system. As I mentioned, it's got the Bluetooth feature. You also have the auxiliary input as well as USB. This can work as your alarm clock. And really great stereo system. You do DVDs out of this. Lots of versatility to the stereo system. Just above that is, of course, where you see the microwave. And then above that is going to be the switch for the upper bunk that we'll take a look at here in a minute. But in the meantime, I think we'll maybe wrap around to the front, cover some of those things that are in the cab.
And Casey, I just want to be respectful of the questions that come in, and Jane just had a follow-up question. Jane's had a couple of wonderful questions today. Just if you could reiterate the heated storage on the outside of the coach.
Oh, sure. So the exterior has 35 cubic feet of storage, and as you look at this bench that's right inside the entry door, the front storage compartment is actually just below that. And so that's what makes that heated, is that you will get some of the heat from inside the coach that will go into that storage compartment. And then the rear storage compartment that we saw that's even more spacious is located underneath the rear corner bed. So that's also a nice heated location as well. And then both of those do have the plastic tanks in there that have their own drains. So if there's anything, we have some customers that use it as a cooler, so you're able to put ice in there. It'll simply drip out as soon as the ice melts. So some really nice features with that exterior storage.
Great question.
All right, I think we'll go ahead and take a step up into the cab. Take a look at some things up there. So this does have, go ahead and shut the door here. You've got a nice battery boost switch that'll be located here just by your left hand when you're in the driver's seat. So that way you can tie together your coach battery with your chassis battery if you do need to, rather than having to go to all the effort of jump starting. You can actually use the power that you'll get off of your coach batteries in order to do that. You get some really nice controls that are located right on the steering wheel itself in reference to the stereo system, and then also your Bluetooth capabilities that come along with that, so that you can both answer as well as end phone calls from there. Otherwise, you've got your typical controls that you'd imagine on any type of vehicle are pretty standard here. The steering wheel does telescope, so that you can pull that in and out to wherever that's the most comfortable place for you. Some really great features here as far as you have an auxiliary input that's located just here by your right hand, and then you also have a USB port here, and then a second one that's located here by your 12-volt outlet.
And then Casey, if I could just interrupt, a question from Ruth, if you can touch base on whether or not the coach has satellite radio capability.
Yes, it does have satellite radio capability. That would be a subscription that you would sign up for. It comes with 1 year free on the satellite radio. And then just kind of touching on the whole stereo system that you've got here. This is an item that comes from Dodge it comes from Dodge Ram, and you've got lots of really great features in here. Of course, your typical stereo system. You've got your navigation. You can also pair up your phone, as I'd mentioned, that you can control off your steering wheel, so you can easily pair a phone with this. So some really nice capabilities that you've got here. Outside temperature, compass, clock. All of those things, just some really, really great functions that are all a part of that head unit there.
And then a good question that just came in from Arnold. Arnold wanting to know if the Ram ProMaster chassis offers cruise control.
Yes, it does have cruise control.
Cool.
And then the rear camera that we talked about will actually picture on this portion of your rear view mirror. When you do have the coach in reverse, that'll automatically pop up on your rear view mirror. So it's very easy to see that then. Otherwise, kind of your standard temperature controls, and then you've got a powered lock button here, and then, as I mentioned, your USB 12-volt outlet, and then, I mean, you just have an enormous amount of cup holders that are here in the cab. I believe there's actually 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, so plenty of beverages.
And then a good question that actually just came in from Robert, wanting to know if we can do ultra leather cab seats up front here, or why do we use cloth? And that's a really great question, Robert,
Yep.
and thank you for that.
Really, really good question, because actually the seats will come in what you're seeing now is the standard cloth that comes from Dodge. And the reason that it stays that way is because, as Ron was pointing out, of all the airbags. This is very unique to the Viva trend as well as the Travato, is that you have airbags just as you would in a vehicle.
Right. So driver and passenger, and I didn't mean to interrupt, Casey, but I've got the literature here in front of me. Driver and passenger, side curtain airbags, and then seat-mounted side pelvic thoracic bags. So just a wonderful protection system that's included with the Ram ProMaster.
Yep. An option that we have here on the Trend and Viva as you look at the floor is you do have fitted cab carpet. So a nice thing there, makes it nice residential. You also, from Winnebago, you also have the ability to block off all of your front windows. So rather than having a privacy curtain that would then block off the entire cab space, you can specifically block off the windshield and your side windows so that you can still use this space when you're actually out using the RV. The other really, really great thing about the cab is that it is so easy to swivel your seats. So as you can see, I haven't moved the chair at all. I'm in the same position as I would be when I'm driving down the road, and it's simply a release lever that's right by your inside hand that you're able to actually release and swivel all the way around. So very easy. That can kind of be a cumbersome process in different motorhomes, and it's extremely easy to swivel either cab seat here in the Trend and Viva.
But what's great about that is that you can see with the flat floor doghouse, I mean, Casey just has a standard residential fit. So, you know, there isn't any elevation here between the cab and the coach. And so it really provides for a residential fit. So really integral living components to the Trend and Viva.
Yep. Along with that, the cab seats are completely adjustable. You've got tilting in your seat, as well as, of course, adjusting the position of your seat back, lumbar support, all of that you can completely customize so that it's most comfortable for you.
And a nice all-weather cab mat down below.
Yep. All right, here in, as we saw from the exterior, you do have a really great skylight here, so you can get some natural light here in the front of the coach. And then, of course, you also do have the pleated shade that you can pull in order to block that out when you do need some privacy.
And actually, a great follow-up question to that. Arnold just chatting in, how do the cab window covers work? Are there pleated shades? And then also, Jane wondering if we can just cover capacities, and I have all that here. So
okay.
I know with the front privacy area, there is actually a privacy screen that goes over the windows. The coach does not have the pleated shades, which you may be referring to that some of our other models have, but it does have privacy for the glass up front. And then the tank capacities, the 23L does have 32 gallons in the black, 40 in the gray, and 26 gallons of freshwater capacity, a 13-gallon propane tank, and then a 24-gallon fuel tank. So a really great cruising range with the 23L.
Yep. Also here in the front, you've of course got your speakers, as you can see, and then some really nice storage compartments as well. A lot of the compartments that you'll see do have the push button locks, so that way those will securely stay closed as you travel down the road. But actually a really deep storage compartment here. I mean, I can get my hand all the way through it, and so the depth of that is really, really nice. I'll also cover while I'm here in the cab just real quickly the keys that you get with a Trend or Viva. So essentially your key fob that you get from Dodge does have the flip out key, and then of course you do have the power door lock controls on there as well. And then it's just a few other keys as far as to control, to unlock your different storage compartments, and then of course your entry door as well. Otherwise, as you can see here, you kind of have your front dinette area. This does make into an additional sleeping space. The table, some really nice flexibility that you get with this. There's actually a little pull release here that will allow you to swivel this table around and get even greater capacity here, so that you can have someone comfortably sitting here on this side of the dinette and still have some tabletop to use. And then of course your front cab seats as well. So between all of that, you can really essentially very comfortably seat 6 people here in the front of the Trend. And
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say some great safety features. Casey, if you can touch on the forward-facing bench seat with the safety belt system.
Sure. So as Ron mentioned, one of the really great features of this is all the safety that comes along with the Trend and Viva. As you can see, it does have 3-point seat belts, which again is very unique to the Trend Viva as well as the Travato. The lower portion of the dinette that you're seeing now will actually fold down into a 51 by 87 inch sleeping space. And that's done simply by this table folds down and this portion of the bench will slide forward, so that virtually this entire space here will create a sleeping space.
And this bench has some wonderful rails in it, so it's actually really easy to slide out. You don't have to pull it out from the wall such as you do other dinettes. It very simply slides together, and then this forms the other portion of the bed.
As you can see, the windows do have the blackout MCD shades. So again, very easy to use. I'm sure you've seen these in some of our other videos. A simple pull and release feature. You can control how quickly those retract as well as where they stop at. Another nice feature here in the front living area is that you do have the option for a second television. So this is a 19-inch LED Jensen TV. So just again, another second viewing angle for anyone that's here in the cab area. So that way anyone that's facing forward would be able to see this TV, and anyone facing towards the back of the coach would be able to see the second TV.
Yeah, and we'll cover those TVs here in a moment. The other thing to point out on these is that they are 12-volt TVs, and since they're LED, they don't consume a lot of electricity, or 12-volt in this situation, but really flexible in terms of utilizing those when you're dry camping, hotel camping, or even in motion.
All right, I think we're in a good spot now to go ahead and take a look at the upper loft bed. So there's simply a powered switch that's located just above the microwave, what we had saw earlier. And Ron will go ahead and hit that for us.
But very fluid, very quick, quickly converts to an additional sleeping surface.
So now this upper bunk space is 51 by 78 inches, so just slightly more narrow than the lower portion of the bunk. But as you can see, a really great space. There's an additional ladder that's located beneath the rear corner bed that you can use in order to get up into this space. So really nice small compact coach at only 24 feet, but amazingly you can still sleep 6 people and comfortably seat 6 people as you drive down the road as well.
Nice privacy, some nice catch areas so that things don't roll off your bed. And as Casey indicated, this is the same motor that we utilize in our Rest Easy 12-volt mechanically reclining sofas. So it's a motor that's been proven since we came out with the Rest Easy sofa in the early 2000s. So we've been using the motor for a decade. Very quick, one touch, and boom, in just a few seconds you have an additional sleeping surface. The lights are actually activated. They turn on when the bed comes down, and then if you want to actually turn them off, you certainly can as well, but they automatically activate when the bed comes up and down. So we're bringing the bed back up now, and just within a few seconds it'll actually recess all the way back up, and you can see all the storage and everything actually comes with the studio loft bed as it comes up and down. And as we're in this area, Paul had chatted in a question, Casey, wanting to know what this area would be if we didn't do the optional second TV.
Oh, Sure. So then if you did not do the TV there, that would just essentially be storage space, which would be just like the opposite side here, which is where we actually have the black bag for the coach that has all of the manuals in it. So kind of a narrow space here, but you do get some really nice vertical height there.
And no maintenance when you utilize the studio loft bed. It glides up and down with the overhead bed.
Right. And that TV does still function when the bed is down, so that if you do have somebody here in the lower bunk, you can still use that television.
And the TVs nicely tie into the jack system if you want to walk through that since we're up in
Yep, while we're in the ceiling area, we'll touch on a few things here. As you can see, all of your lights are LED, so very efficient. Some really nice accent lighting that you get throughout the coach as well. As Ron mentioned, this does have the King Jack TV antenna, so it has a few really great features. First off, you'll be able to pull in more channels. It's a stationary height so that you don't have to remember to crank it up or crank it back down, even more importantly, before you take off. And then also you have a digital signal strength meter so that you don't have to do the trial and error of not knowing where your best signal strength will come in, because you have a meter that'll tell you that. Located just over from that is going to be the roof air conditioning system. This is a 13.5 BTU roof air conditioner. Really great feature with this is that it does have a heat strip on it. So even though the coach does come with a 20,000 BTU in-floor furnace, you can use the heat strip that's on the roof air conditioner in order to heat your coach. And now, since it's unlike an AC heat pump, the exterior temperature really does not affect the function of the heat strip. So you can use that regardless of what the exterior temperature is, so that way you can help to conserve LP. Kind of move on to the refrigerator here. This is a Norcold refrigerator. Take a look inside of there. So you get some really nice space here, some different functions so that if you've got taller items, a nice drawer, adjustable bins that come in the door as well. And then you also have a nice freezer up top, which does come with an ice cube tray. This is both electric as well as LP. So as you can see from the controls here, currently we're plugged in, so it'll be on your AC power. However, that you can also switch that over to LP gas or simply leave that on automatic and it'll go to whatever power source it has available. Temperature setting 1 through 9, so really great refrigerator freezer here, some great capacity for a coach of this size. As you can see now, this is where you have, this will be your primary television, also an LED Jensen, also 12 volts, so you get some really nice function out of that. Really great thing about this TV is its ability to swivel. So, as you can see here, you've got a nice little strap that'll release that from the wall, and we'll go ahead and have Ron pull that out. You can swivel this so that you can actually see it from the front living area that we were in earlier, or you can actually go completely in the other direction so that you can see it from the rear corner bed. So some really good function that you can get out of that television set.
And Casey, while we're in this area, Dennis had chatted in a question wanting to know if the coach does have a satellite pre-wire up in the roof.
Oh, sure. As you can see, Josh was just shooting the storage that's behind the TV, which I forgot to mention. And to answer the next question, the coach is pre-wired for satellite. One of the nice features with the Trend and Viva, since it's not a B van, it does come pre-wired for satellite, like all of your other coaches that you're used to seeing in the Winnebago lineup. So you can add whatever form of satellite dish you choose.
And then a great question that Ken had just chatted in, and I know we'll have this on our website here momentarily, wanting to know if we could touch on MSRP.
Oh, sure. So essentially the base coach, before you add any options to it, the 23L is going to come in just above $89,000. Now we have optioned the coach with pretty much everything that's available, aside from if you happen to be from Canada and want a Canadian chassis. But essentially the way that we option it out, it comes to about $92,000 with the different options that are available, which is primarily going to be your television, the applique that's in the cab, I believe, yeah, and the heated drainage. Cool. So we'll cover a few things here in the galley while we're in this area. Some really nice features that you get here. You do have the additional flip-up countertop extension, so you get some additional countertop space here next to the sink. The sink itself does come with the high-rise faucet, the single control. It does have a cold water filter as well. And some really nice things here with the sink. Winnebago gives you some really great accessories that come with this, and we'll kind of take a look at some of those.
Which is really nice because it's a unique sized sink, so you don't have to chase yourself all over the world looking for the accessories you need.
Exactly. So a few things here. You've got a nice drain pan for when you are washing dishes, good cutting board that fits right in that size as well. And then the really unique feature, at least I think it's pretty cool, is that you do have a nice little drying rack for when you're washing your dishes, and then a nice basin here that fits right inside the sink. And then of course the sink itself is stainless steel, does come with its own drain plug that's just perfect size. And all of this fits right inside of there as well. So some really great accessories that come here with the sink.
And then again, to be respectful of questions, we just had a caller actually get in with a question wanting to know if we can see the bedroom, and you timed in perfectly because we're almost there, so just stay tuned.
We'll head there quickly. Just to mention here, both the sink as well as the range top does come with the hinged glass cover, so that way you can use that as additional countertop space when it's not in use. But you do have the 2-burner range here, smaller as well as a larger sized range. And then you get some nice cabinet space here in the galley with 2 different cabinet doors that'll open up there for you. Winnebago puts this nice little cover here above the range that'll catch any moisture from when you're cooking, and then it also features some additional LED lighting.
And a beautiful contemporary LED accent lit backsplash.
Yep, the accent lighting that's in the Trend Viva is really, really great. Winnebago does use the full-length extension drawers. So as you can see, the drawer will pull all the way out. These are on the residential metal ball bearing glides, just like what you would have at home. So again, everything that they can do to maximize storage is exactly what Winnebago does.
And before you go too far, Jane just chatted in a question wanting to see where the 110 volt outlets are, and since you're right in that same camera angle, Josh, I thought we'd point those out. Just right underneath the countertop extension, there's 210 volt jacks located right here. There's also 210 volt jacks located near the accent lighting underneath. So a total of 4 jacks conveniently located right inside the galley of the Trend Viva. So great question, Jane. Keep those questions coming in. A wonderful interactive presentation today.
Yep. Really great storage here underneath the sink that you'll see. Great spot if you need somewhere to put a trash can, things of that nature. And then you've also got an accent point to some different plumbing features that are here below the sink area as well. And then of course this is also where your cold water filter will go. Kind of making our way back into the bedroom hallway area. This is where you've got a really nice sized wardrobe closet where you get some good hanging space. You'll see a few of the accessories that come along with the coach. The screens to cover the front cab area. All of your remotes and things will come in this box here. And then you also have a tire jack, your tow hook, and then this little kit here actually gives you the ability to patch if you get a hole, if you puncture a hole in any of your tires, you can actually patch that and then refill the tire with this little kit here. So really, really great storage in such a compact coach. Some good drawer stacks down below that as well. So now we're finally getting here to the rear corner bedroom portion of the coach. As you can see, it's got a nice size bed here. This is 49 by 75, I believe. Yep. And as you can see, some really, really nice cabinet storage up above. You get another 110 volt outlet that you can see in the corner. So you got a nice spot there along with a shelving unit there for any alarm clocks, cell phones, CPAP machines, those types of things. You got a nice outlet that's conveniently located here in the bedroom area. And then as you can see with your overhead storage, really, really great depth there. And then you've also got some extra features that go along with your television. So a couple more outlets for you. And then this is also where you could hook up to that satellite dish that you're able to mount on the roof. And as well as you've got the HDMI and then of course your booster for your signal as well.
And Josh and Casey, Josh, you're in the perfect angle right now to cover Ken's question, wanting to know, since there is no range hood, where is the ventilator fan?
Sure. So the powered ventilator fan is located just here, which is kind of right in your hallway area, close to the galley, close to the bedroom. So this is a fantastic vent. So does a really, really excellent job of circulating fresh air throughout the coach. I mean, essentially what you're going to want to do is just pick whatever speed you want it on, 1 through 3. Choose whichever window you'd like to get some good fresh air blowing through, and it's just amazing the amount of fresh air that that'll circulate for you. A really good privacy curtain here back in the bedroom area that'll block out your rear corner bed. Again, MCD shades that are on the window. This is also your exit window here. And then the really, really neat thing here in the bedroom is how easy it is to access that storage.
Wow.
So as you can see, I hardly had to touch that. It'll automatically come up for you here. It's got its own strut that'll leave that open. As I mentioned, you do have the ladder that'll help you get up into that overhead bunk if you choose to use that. Otherwise, it's got a nice little spot to stow that away when you aren't using it. And as you can see, it's just really, really long storage here for you, so that if there's any longer items that or anything that's a bit larger, this is a great spot to store that. And as you can see, you can also access all of your exterior storage from this location as well.
And a great follow-up question that just came in from Ruth wanting to touch base on the bed, whether or not it's an inner spring or a foam mattress case.
Oh, sure. This is a foam mattress here. As you can see, it's kind of a unique size. It's got the folding feature, so that way you can open to your storage space, which does just fall in the perfect location for you when you're sleeping, so that is still comfortable. I am noticing down here on the ground, since we were talking about 110 volt outlets, there is another 110 volt outlet that's located just below the refrigerator that we did not mention, and that also has the GFI on it as well.
So the cold air return for your furnace, your converter charger, and then 110 volt outlet.
Perfect. All of your light switches are also be located next to the refrigerator as well. We'll go ahead and take a spin through the bathroom. All right, so again, some really nice features here in the bathroom area. We'll try to get Josh in here with me so that we can check it out. Shower, you get some really, really great head clearance. The overall interior height throughout the coach is 6'7". However, here in the shower, of course, you have the addition of the skylight, so you get some nice natural light, but then, of course, some additional head clearance as well. It does come with the removable drip rod, so that you can use this whether it's for additional wardrobe space, or, of course, like drying towels, bathing suits, things like that that get wet. You can use the removable drip rod for that, and then this will just pop right out when you do, if you need that additional height space for when you take a shower. You do have the adjustable shower head that comes along with this as well. You can actually adjust the stream flow as well as turn the water on and off right here from the shower head. So that way you can help to conserve water without having to readjust your temperature. This also has the self-cleaning retractable shower door. So as you can see, as that comes back in, it squeegees itself off so that you don't have to worry about cleaning that. Some really great different hooks located throughout the bathroom area for towels. As you can see above the toilet, you've got hand towels as well. The toilet itself, Winnebago actually brings up to a residential height. So that way, as you can see, that hits me right at my knee, so a really nice height for that. Good spot for your toilet paper just next to that. And again, more outlets. Even more storage that comes here just above the sink. And as you can see with this sink, it's a really, really great size sink. Sometimes when you've got smaller coaches, you end up with a much smaller sink. And with this one, it's just simply not the case.
And a great transition point for Jane's question, wondering if you can touch base, no pun intended, on the size of the water heater and whether or not the coach has a winterization kit. And since everything's conveniently located right there, I thought we'd cover Jane's question right now.
Sure. So just here inside the bathroom by the lower storage point here, you have a few extra switches. So you have your light switch, your water heater, as well as an additional water pump switch. The water heater is actually a tankless water heater, so that means that you have continuous hot water rather than being limited to a smaller size. So, like for example, like on the Travato, I think there you have it's a 4 or 6 gallon. I think it's a heater. A lot of other coaches have 6-gallon water heaters. Some of them are 10, but with the tankless, there's it's literally continuous. It heats your water as you need it, so it's much more efficient. Uses less LP. And that's where you're going to control, go ahead and control the temperature that you want on your water heater there.
But really great questions today. Thank you everyone for sending those in. Keep them coming. We're going to continue to go on through our interactive presentation.
I'm going to actually take a step out of the bathroom so that Josh can give you a better spanning shot in there. One thing that I did not mention, if eventually, Josh, you want to shoot up to the ceiling once you've done that, you do have an additional powered vent that's located here in the bathroom so that you can circulate some air while you have the door closed. So what you can see now is the medicine cabinet that's located here in the bathroom. So you get some really nice storage. It is a padded vinyl ceiling, which is what you'll see throughout the majority of Winnebago and Itasca's lineup. And again, all LED ceiling lights throughout the coach.
And CJ, as we walk out, maybe you can cover the color palette selections in this coach, since we're going to walk by the Aosta Cherry and some of the Victory palettes.
Oh, sure. So in your Viva and Trend lineup, you'll have 3 different interior options for different color schemes and things like that. Really, the bedroom area is probably the best spot to see the colors. This is the Victory interior color option. So you can kind of see the fabrics that come along with that and the patterns. Up in our front dining areas is really where you'll see the ultra leather colors that come along with that. But throughout the coach is where you'll see the Aosta Cherry. The other option would be for the high gloss Marbella, and so that's a slightly darker, but really just a different shade of wood. And then that would have the glossy finish on your cabinet faces. And then we'll kind of take a look here. Again, this is the Victory interior. You get the nice two-toned ultra leather. The other option for interior, I take that back. You have more options than what I thought. There's 4. So this is Victory. You also have one that's called Turbo, another one that's Pursuit, and then a Vapor as well. And so each of those will be different ultra leather combinations and different fabric and accent fabric combinations as well.
A couple of really good follow-up questions as we work our way to the outside of the Trend and Viva. A follow-up question from earlier, if you can just touch base case on the fuel efficiency of the coach.
Sure. The Trend and Viva will achieve about 14 to 16 miles per gallon. So alternatively to that, the Travada, which would be the Class B version, is about 16 to 18. But again, for a gas-powered RV, really great fuel economy. Whereas in your traditional C-body RVs, you're going to be more so in that 7 to 9 range. So essentially, you double what your fuel economy would be.
And Casey, just a follow-up question from Arnold. Josh, if you can work our way inside part of this 35 cubic feet amount of basement storage, wanting to know where the freshwater tank drain location is, and you can see it's conveniently located right here. You can actually see the winterization kit as well. So we have the winterization kit with the siphon hose right here, and then also the freshwater drain conveniently located right on the forward side of the freshwater tank inside this compartment here, which is, again, we're looking on the passenger side. So great question, Arnold.
The Trend and Viva come with the bright silver exterior, so that's what you can see here on this coach. So actually, your lower valance here, as well as the upper portion of your valance, I'll just close the entry door here so you can get a better look at that. Shut off my step so that way that doesn't go back in. But so really, all your entire lower valance as well as a large portion of your upper valance all has actual paint on there. And then of course you have the middle portion that does have some graphics that go along with that. Yeah, so as Ron mentioned, this patio awning does cover 15 feet worth of the total 24-foot exterior length. So some really great coverage there. Essentially the entire body of the coach is covered by that patio awning.
And then a follow-up question that Jane had, and Jane, you've had some wonderful questions today. The rear setup as to whether or not it has duals or single rear axle. So
that it is single. Josh, I don't know if you can get a good look at that. Again, these are the 16-inch Continentals that do come with the aluminum wheels.
You know, and it's really a limitation that's placed on us from Ram ProMaster, and also it's somewhat correlative to the gross vehicle weight rating of the chassis. You know, we have a 9,300 pound gross vehicle weight rating chassis, wonderful cargo carrying capacity, but not necessarily the need for rear duals to the rear of the Trend and Viva. Great questions today, though. We've got one follow-up question, Case. If we can just swing back inside, I'll let you go inside, and Josh, you can follow ahead here.
Sure.
Arnold just wanting to know what is underneath the forward-facing bench seat, and that is a wonderful question. Right here.
Oh.
So we'll just take a jump back inside, and we'll cover Arnold's question.
I believe this is the location of the freshwater tank, isn't it?
Well, you've got the safety tethers.
Based on where the gravity fill is on the exterior of the coach, I believe the freshwater tank is located here beneath this bench seat.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that is what's underneath this bench. So underneath the opposite bench is where you have the exterior storage compartment. But this bench here is where you have your freshwater tank. Warranty-wise, what you'll get there, from Dodge ProMaster, you have the 5-year 100 that's on your powertrain. The really nice thing with that is that you do get 5-year 100 worth of roadside assistance as well that comes from Dodge ProMaster. Winnebago, you'll have a 10-year that'll cover your fiberglass roof, as well as 3-year 36 that goes on your structure, subfloors, sidewalls, all of that. And then, of course, your basic 12-month, 15,000-mile warranty as well.
And then just a couple of other follow-up questions. One of our viewers wanting to know if there's a slide out available.
There is not.
Yep. And some of that's, again, correlative with gross vehicle weight rating and usage of the coach and how we can actually utilize the chassis that we've actually been given from ProMaster. That actually follows up a question that Ken had wanting to touch on the suspension. And as we mentioned earlier, the front suspension is the independent front suspension setup. And then Ken wanting to know if the rear suspension is spring, air, both. And it is a tubular axle to the rear. It does also have a leaf spring and stabilizer bar. So it's a leaf spring suspension with a stabilizer bar to the rear. But a really good question, Ken.
So we do have a lot of information that's already on our website for you on both the Trend and Viva, as well as both of the floor plans that are available. So the 23B is the one that we're not seeing today. That, as I mentioned, hopefully we'll have our first one here within the next couple weeks. And that'll be essentially rear bathroom, front living area, some more dedicated living space without the dedicated bedroom area. And essentially, I want to remind you that the same type of walk around that we're doing today, you can do that on any of our in-stock coaches that we have here. We'll have a personalized walk around with any one of our consultants. But I'll pass it over to Ron to wrap things up today.
Great questions today. I mean, we really had some wonderful interaction from all of our viewers today. Some great questions, and that's really been the success of what we've had with these, is the fact that we can actually bring you Winnebago's high-quality lineup in real-time, high-definition live video. And again, like Casey said, we can do this on any of our in-stock RVs in the comfort of your home or office. We actually just have now unveiled a mobile app so that if you're on the road, we can actually do the live interactive presentations from your mobile device. And again, our sales consultants can walk you through that. So again, thank you again for tuning in today. If you have any follow-up questions, you can click actually on this vehicle link. As soon as we're done, Josh will be doing all of our photo shoots and high-definition video. So we'll have all those up. You can actually contact us with questions there. You can use the chat function on our website. You can always email directly to sales@lichtsinn.com, and we'll certainly be responsive in all of your questions. So again, thank you for joining us. Again, we're here at Lichtsinn Motors. We're only 1 mile north of the Winnebago, Itasca, and Winnebago Touring Coach division of Winnebago Industries here in Forest City. We'll see you again next month with our monthly live video webcast.